What up, cuz? The local Mad Dog, Westside, Nutty Block, Compton, Crip coming at you. As I say, I don't glorify cripping, homie. I don't even glorify gangbanging. Just because I tell you where I'm from, don't get it twisted, you know. Um, that's just where I'm from because that's what I represent. And that's all I know. I was never taught nothing different. It was embedded in my mind to be a crip. It was embedded in my mind to run the streets every day. It was embedded in my mind to go to house parties. It was embedded in my mind to kill anybody that was against me or against the hood. So that's all I know. Um, I'm breaking out of that slowly but surely, with the help of God and the tragedies that happens in my life. It's somehow you have to wake up and get up out of that.
Motion at your floodlight cam.
Slowly but surely, I'm breaking out of that. It takes time. It's just like when you're born as a baby, you don't basically walk in the beginning unless you just Baby Huey or something, you know what I'm saying? I give it up to my boy Baby Huey from Westside Power Root since I mentioned that name. What up, big homie? How you doing? Okay, now back to what I was saying is sometimes tragedies and things happen in your life and you wake up. I was reading the Black on Black crime and says 2022 there was 60% of gun violence, homicides in Los Angeles County was black on black. Now you think about that. 60% of the homicides in 2022 was black on black. That's not bad. But in Los Angeles County in 2022, we only made up 14% of the population. So you multiply that. 14% of the population. And 60% of us blacks, we're killing each other. And don't get it twisted, homie. I'm not just pointing the finger at anybody. Because I did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And if somebody get at me wrong, don't get me wrong, I do the same thing again. But at the same time, though, I'm not out there trying to seek and do it because of a street, because of a name, because of a flag color. And out of that 60% black on black homicides in 2022 in LA County, which I say 14% is only African American make up the population in LA County as it is. 82% of that 60% was used firearms. It was by firearms. It's so easy for us to pick up a weapon, go over there on the block, spray some people, and keep going. But I don't see nobody doing anything to anybody else. All we do is kill each other instead of banding together and trying to form some type of peace and unity and build some type of structure so we can have these young kids and these grandkids that they have some type of future. I don't see that. I want a project. I mean, if I had the money, yeah, so don't say, won't I do it? Because if you got the money, then let's put our brains together and we can do something. But I don't have the money. I have the thoughts, the ideals, the ideology of it. But I'm not in a financial position to get out there. So I use this platform and hopefully some young kid will leave a comment. You want to ask me something, go for it. I'm going to keep it real 100%. I'm not going to lie to nobody. I'm not going to play games with you. That's not me. I've never been into that. And that's just the bottom line. I don't shake hands with everybody. I don't hug everybody. And I damn sure don't speak to everybody. And that's just the way I've been my whole life. And I've been misunderstood because of that. Because trust issues have always been my problem. And this led me to remove souls when I didn't have to. Because of my trust issues. So I'm guilty of black on black crime. Probably did it before you did it. Like I said, I started at 8 years old. Some homies in the hood did crime with me, some homies didn't. But it ain't my job to mention nobody. It ain't my job to put nobody out there, and that's not what I'm here for. I'm here to try to improve the situation. Not throw wood in the fire, homie. What really kills me, I see the OGs online, YouTubing, whatever. I know them, and I know they know me. We did time together, whether it's in LP Central, YA, or prison. We did time. And I see a lot of them on YouTube and everything, you know, doing their thing. I'm proud of you. Good, good, good. But now that you're in that position, you know, you talked about things when you was locked up in prison, so better your community now. You've been put in the position to better your community, so better your community. I'm not going to call no names. But if you got that platform out there, and you got opportunity to reach out and touch these young youths, then teach them the right way and tell them what these gang life about. Don't glorify the gang life, because you know you ain't gonna get no retirement check when you get 60 or 70 years old. You're gonna still be working or looking for a job, or in prison or dead if you're lucky you still alive. So teach them that. You know, don't teach them the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing to do. Don't glorify this gang life, because this gang life is not what it's about. And anybody I meet, I tell them the same thing. This gang life is not what it's about. You have to be, you know, I got off into it, as I said, and I got off into it because, you know, it was just at that time growing up, you know, being born, the time I was born and growing up at that time, that's all we knew. You know, there was no internet, there was no PlayStations, there was none of that we could go there and play and do things. There was none of that. Only thing we had was go up to the store. At that time, I think it was called Country Farms. We'd go up to Country Farms and play pinball. Then I think they changed it to Alondra Farms. You know, we'll go up there and play pinball, meet up there after school, bet quarters for pinball, or shoot some dice. That was our thing. So we was bored. We played sports, but when practice was over, we had to go back to the hood. And some of us, like me, you know, I played sports way Enterprise Park. You know, I was way over at Enterprise Park playing football. And I give it up to my boy Big Briscoe from Antis Park. What up, homie? We played ball. You remember us? What up, big homie? How you doing? And I played ball at Enterprise Park, you know. And at that time, you know, I was going up there representing it. I wasn't banging like going in people's faces and things like that. I was just going to practice. I had a blue flag hanging out my my back of my helmet and things like that. But you know, we was all getting along. We was all respected and got along. You know, and you know, at that time, right across the street, well, not right across. You know, you can go straight down, but it's a little divider right there. Well, right across there was Dodo, the club right there. And at that time, it was open. You know, we'll go there sometime. You know, hang out as young kids. You know, they closed it now, though, you know, and changed it all the way around. But at that time, it was Dodo's, you know, and we'll go there. You know, I think that's where they made that movie with, what was that, NWA movie, whatever. They made it at that club right there. But either way, though, 60% of the homicides in Los Angeles County is black on black. That's ridiculous. And we're only 14% of the population. And our population is steadily dropping and declining at a rapid rate. And we don't see no stoppage because we're sitting on our butts looking at TV or riding up and down the street with our windows rolled up and the doors locked and thinking, it ain't me. Okay, you don't have to get out and shake hands. Go donate some of that money and build a youth club, build a boxing club. It could be the next Muhammad Ali. It could be the next Mike Tyson. It could be the next Terrell Crawford. You know, go out there. Or you can be the next Jesse Owens to change things in the world. Or even if you don't build some type of sports center, create a learning center. You know, you know, there's a lot of things that us as black people have created in this world and they're taken away from us. I'll tell you something else. Lay all your coins down. I don't care what you lay down, a 50-cent piece, a 25-cent piece, a 10-cent piece, or a 5-cent piece. Notice one thing different when you put the penny down. All heads on those coins facing the same direction. But when you put the penny down, it faces the opposite direction. Anybody know why? Most people just get their money and never think about things like that. But I'll tell you why. Who's on the penny? Abraham Lincoln. What did Abraham Lincoln do? He abolished slavery, right? He freed us. He signed documents to make us equal. African Americans to be equal and not be held in shacks. So, what the White House did, they turned his face in the opposite direction because that means he turned his back on the White House. That's why he's turned that way for those that don't know. He's turned the opposite direction because he helped blacks. So they turned him in the opposite direction to say he turned his back on the government because he abolished slavery. That's why that penny is turned in the opposite direction. And don't let nobody tell you different. Now, that penny represents the black man, even though it has Abraham Lincoln on it. Why you think it's the only color it is? Look at all the other coins. There's no other coin that color, is it? Look at it. The penny like what, copper? I mean, come on. Look at all the other coins. Then you look at the penny color. And you should understand what's going on. Now the government said we're going to take the penny away. So now he takes the penny away. He takes the history from the penny away. So now those that's coming behind us would never know what the penny value was because it's not just the value of 1 cent because they made it 1 cent because, as I said, he turned his back on the government. So he's the lowest denominator it is as far as like income, 1 cent, and he's turned backwards. That's what the government did when that man signed all those declarations and documents to give us equal rights. Now, here it is 2025, and the government say it cost us more to make a penny, so we got to get rid of the penny. Nobody fight for the value of the penny. The value of the penny is not the 1 cent. The value of the penny, it represents freedom. Every time you hold a penny in your hand, you're African American, you think about it. This is freedom. That penny is freedom. Don't throw it away. Collect it. Because the man on that penny gave us what we got today. And I hope anybody can understand where I'm coming from, that the penny has more value than the cents. The penny represented abolishment of slavery. That's why it's copper, and that's why it's turned the opposite direction. Lay all your coins down and notice it. See, we don't think. We just think because it's 1 cent, that's why it's that color, because it's the lowest. No. Abraham Lincoln is on that penny. That's why he turned that way. And go study what Abraham Lincoln did, and you'll understand what the penny means. And I'll tell you another thing, what really irks me. I'll see a white person, some blacks that I might go up to, and I see them with French braids in their hair. And hey, you got some nice braids, politely. You know what those French braids mean? Oh no, I had them design it this way and that way. But do you know what those French braids represent? 9 times out of 10, black or white, don't even know. So I give them a little, history of it. See, French braids is a part of our culture. It's a part of who we are. See, back in the day when we was held captive and our women was raped, abused, and the men were sold off as animals because we had stamina and we can produce, and as soon as a woman had a baby, it was shipped out so you wouldn't know each other. The most important thing, we was taught not to go to school. We was told we couldn't learn to read. We couldn't learn to write. We was supposed to stay uneducated, as they would say today, but we're supposed to stay wild animals, tamed out in the back born some damn where, and only let out to clean and eat and go back in. So when they came up with safe houses, they needed a way to get to the safe house. And those that could draw it in the dirt, whatever, you couldn't remember it. And you always had an Uncle Tom that was working for the white man inside his mansion, palace, whatever the hell you want to call it. And so you had to be secretive about everything when you stayed out there in the barns, because it was like a barn. Sometimes it was just out in the open, locked up like animals. It's a sad situation. And that's why it's even sadder that we're killing each other today. But the French braids came up with an idea. So we got hair. We didn't get haircuts. So we grew hair, the women did. So they would take the kids and they would French braid maps into the young black women hair. The older black women would. And they would French braid it into the head. So those maps that were French braided into those young lady heads actually was maps to the safe houses. So when the slaves escaped or got away, they knew how to get there because they would just read the heads of the kids, the young women. And that's what told them how to get to the safe houses and everything, Otherwise, you was hunted and killed like an animal. So the French braids have a significant part of our history, part of our culture. Now, You get French braids, it's just a design, it's just a style. Which is understandable, it's fashionable, right? Yes. But let's not forget what the meaning of French braids mean. Let's not forget what the meaning of French braids mean. It's a part of our culture. It's a part of our history. And if we don't teach this history, talk about this history, it'll never advance. And if we kill this history, it damn sure won't advance. And that's what we do when we kill each other. We kill history. We don't just kill another black man or woman or child. We're just killing history off. That's all. So we ain't going to have no history. We ain't going to have no future. We ain't going to have no present. Because all we doing is killing each other off. That's by design. We were trained to do that. The same way we was trained to do it, we can be untrained not to do it.